Hey, 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 how's everybody doing today? Thursday, May 7th, and we are going to continue with the new format of the video you guys are watching from yesterday. So, here is your intro to what we're going to do today. The strength component, which you're going to see in a second, is going to be 4 rounds each side. I'm going to do 10 reverse sliding lunge steps. I will define that more for you in a second. Basically, you're going to need something that allows your foot to slide across the ground. In a perfect world, that is probably a furniture slider. But basically, it can be anything that slides across the surface that you're on so that you don't have to pick and step your foot back and forth. All right, it's going to slide. It's going to come back in on the slide. And we're going to pair that with a single leg glute bridge before we switch sides to the other leg. Same thing over and over. I'll spell that out in a second. For the workout portion, the goal is going to be trying to accumulate a certain number of minutes for either a L hang or L sit hold, and or a different number of minutes for a hollow hold. Obviously, the L is going to be a little bit more challenging, so the hold is going to be a little bit shorter we're trying to get to. Every time you break, there's going to be a quote-unquote penalty of 2 combined movements that you're going to have to do there. And then finally, we're going to finish it up with some core stuff today, as well as obviously the warm-up and recovery portion. Stay tuned. All right, here we go with the strength stuff. Like I said, single leg, reverse sliding lunge, followed by the same side, single leg glute bridge, both 10 reps, switch legs, 4 sides, whatever you want to look at it as, and we're going to go 4 rounds, both pieces. So to demonstrate this, I have slicked up the surface that I'm going to use for my sliding lunge steps, so I don't actually need to stick something under the foot. Setting up in my lunge position on the forward at the extension, pop, whatever you want to call that. I'm going to let that foot slide back behind me, focusing on the front hip to pull that back lunging knee and leg up into position. All right, like I said, ideally we're looking at probably a furniture slider here. It kind of depends on what the surface is going to be below the foot. A lot of times an ab mat will slide on carpet if you do this well enough. If you have a hardwood floor, often just a towel will slide enough for you. All right, single leg glute bridge, I'll demonstrate on top of the bench here. You can always cross the opposite leg over, push through the heel, squeeze the glute, hips up in the air. I want you guys to make sure you're finishing with a good flex at the top of that position before you're lowering back down to rep 2 and so on. Alright guys, the workout, as I alluded to earlier, is going to be a hold of some kind, either an L hang or L sit hold, trying to accumulate 3 total minutes, or a hollow hold, trying to accumulate 5 total minutes. Now, once we break, because we will break, I don't think anybody's going to actually hold this long, the penalty down here at the bottom is going to be step-ups and a box jump. Now the trick here is that that will increase each time you break. The first break will be 1 step up right, 1 step up left, and 1 box jump. The second break will be 1 step up right, 1 step up left, and a box jump, 2 step up right, 2 step up left, 2 box jump. All right, so each time it increases by a round per step up, box jump. All right, so to demonstrate some of this stuff, the L sit or hang, I'm going to demonstrate the sit first. Sit essentially means you're supporting underneath you. Hang basically means you're hanging. We can support on a bench and hold an L sit position. If we have dip bars or rings, we can support on those. Or if you have 2 boxes you can hold yourself in between, you can support on those. Now, something that is going to come into play here with probably a lot of people. The hollow position is there in case we don't have any of this equipment, or if we aren't strong enough to hold ourselves in the L position. One of the other things you guys can do, especially if you want to hang but cannot hold yourself in that full L position, is bend the knees and hold in a modified L hang position. And then, like I said, one step up right, one step up left, and a box jump every time we break those sets. In terms of the hollow hold, what I want you to see is arms overhead, lower back, glutes touching the ground, but that's it. Everything else is engaged and raised in a hollowed out position. Stay tuned for workout modifications. All right, let's talk some modifications. So with the strength, pretty much isn't a way to scale it down other than just stepping back into a lunge. But if you guys want to upscale, we can put a barbell, essentially weight it, put a barbell on the back, hold a kettlebell, goblet style, or you can weight the side of the lunge, or feel free to suitcase hold some dumbbells down at the side. For the single leg glute bridge, if we need to make it easier, we're probably just going to shift from a single leg to both legs. If we need to make it harder, we can always weight the hips just like a hip thrust. For the workouts, obviously we don't really need to make that hang or hold harder unless you guys want to increase the time frame, in which case we definitely need to have extended knees, legs straight out in front of us. If we want to make that a little easier, we talked about bending the knees and bringing the legs up that way, or just transitioning and shifting to that hollow hold position. If having the arms up overhead in the hollow hold is too challenging, we can always put them down at the sides, essentially hands next to the pockets. For the step-ups or box jumps, obviously increase, decreased height. If you guys want to get super aggressive with that workout, you can always throw on a weighted vest. Enjoy!